one idea and you take it to TRL 3 or TRL 4 level, you can actually get government grants, then BIRA, or you can get course of grant and to start your own company, or you can get from other sources. To a certain level. So this kind of atmosphere will help to actually get realize the potential of innovation. There are a lot of stories. It's not that there is not happening in academic institutions, but it is happening and dying. If you look at the pharmacy thing, you see there is something called death rally, where you will actually go there and then there is nothing you can do. So the situations are changing. We have a lot of avenues now, okay, so that you can translate your TRL 2, TRL 3, TRL 4 level work to product. Okay. So we have to start thinking that. Now, today, it is not only in our time, we only wanted to do one thing, get academics done. Maybe we'll go some foreign country. I say I myself spent 7 years in US. And some of us will come back, some of us will stay there, and will work. But today's generation should not think like that way, because today you have an environment where you can actually use the knowledge to create, input for the country, that you can create entrepreneur, you can start a company, you can be a job giver rather than a job seeker. And even in this room, there are 500 people and so, even 2 or 3 become job giver rather than the job seeker. That actually change. That will actually change. So, and there are a lot of avenues today. The reason I'm saying is there are avenues today. Let us focus on academics. And the future of pharmaceutical drug development, training, challenge. Just talk about two small. Look at fundamental strong, and majority of the people have no understanding. So these are a huge number of pharmacy students. If I ask you a simple question, okay, how many of you know the difference between a rat and mice? Raise hand. How many of you know the difference between rat and mice? Raise hand. You see, only most of you think rat and mice are same, but we are different. How many of you know the difference? Okay, so that is the answer. Okay. But you can talk quick, but if you are a pharmacy student, most of the time you do your drug efficacy or toxicity studies in the rat or mouse model. Okay. How many of you know what is the size of bacteria? We talk about personalized medicine, we talk about all big work, start into this, start into that, but really you need to understand the business. So think about in Indian situation, a lot of generic medicine. You are taking a formulated drug, look at the solubility, bioavailability. If you can increase the solubility or bioavailability, you can solve a lot. And that is the low-hanging fruit. That is also an innovation. So what is Indian pharmaceutical company doing? A great job that 25 billion or 30 billion dollar export that is happening. That is a big thing because solving these problems are not easy. Similarly, if you start thinking to make a graph, you have to collaborate with a large number of people. One of the problems in this country is that lack of collaboration. Lack of collaboration because everybody wants the highest credit without actually doing the now the time has come that we actually collaborate. The students also need to culture is that we have to collaborate. You know, drug discovery is like a making movie. When you want to make a movie, you need not only the actors, you need musicians, you need all sorts of people. But if you want to write a novel, you can alone write a novel. But if you want to visualize that novel, you need a big team. So making a discovery in the lab, publishing a paper is like writing a novel. You can do by yourself. But if you want to visualize this, then you need a large number. You need singer, you need musician, you need, so many people. Similarly, drug discovery is a completely different types of tasks you cannot do by yourself. It's a completely different kind of task, and you need different sets of professions. And whenever an academician wants to take all the tasks by himself or herself, invariably he does not succeed. Another problem in this country, which is now getting much more, everybody understands that's a problem, so we are overcoming this, is the medical, connection with medical fraternity. Until and unless you have clinical trials, you cannot have drugs. So that means the doctors have to come with you. They have to work along with the, basic researcher, pharmacy researcher, so that is a big issue. And now it is getting taken care of in certain ways. Regulation is an important thing. Lack of regulation is one person who told that medtech don't have much of regulation there, so that is happening. I think I myself I am looking for making some kind of course which is regulated in the areas while doing that we understand that how important is the making regulation. And regulation is very costly. Each step of this regulation actually makes it the quality, and as long as you increase one parameter, then you are increasing the cost. So all these things have to be figured out, but there is no alternative to quality. Because if you have a bad medicine, then many other medicine will not be so. So I think I want to tell you things for all young students. Please focus on understanding. Don't get into the big words. Because ultimately, wherever you go for interview, that your understanding is going to get you that job or that. Second thing is that India has now very good academic opportunity. You do not need to go to US or other countries to get education. I think if you think of all over India, there are so many good national institutes. And all these national institutes are having a lot of equipment. I can tell you today, all these national institutes have kind of equipment which are very difficult to get in US universities also. I stayed there 7 years in the top universities and keep going last 25 years with different places. I can tell you with certainty that the kind of equipment you get in IIT Gandhinagar or other places in Ahmedabad, okay, um, in Mumbai, different places, almost everywhere there are several institutes that will be very difficult to get in many type 2 kind of universities in India. Forget I'm not talking about Harvard, Yale, Stanford, Berkeley, or Los Angeles, or San Francisco. Yeah, but anyway, most of the students don't get there. So, if you think of these, our Indian universities are now having very good facilities, and today, also another thing, the many of the professors that you see in the universities are foreign trained. So you get all these things. So you do not need to think of that in order to get good education, you have to go to outside India. And pharmacy education is getting its own shape. Pharmacy has a very good scope because the drug security that we are talking about, or we are thinking to export 10 times within the next 20 years, that requires this huge workforce. Okay. Another thing is important is that today, whatever we say, AI is going to take its own space. Okay. That means computer simulation, looking at the data, what already exists, you needed to take care of that. So you have to get your statistics, a bit of math, and a level of computer education correct. For example, I will tell you, if you think of animal trials, around 80% of the time, the trials in animal is actually efficacy-wise also wrong and safety-wise also wrong. So there could be a model which can predict more accurately the efficacy and the safety. Also, you need to develop different kinds of models. For example, you can develop organoid model. You can develop some other kinds of model which will not need all the time animals. So there also pharmacy students can think of how to develop models. Can you actually, if you have no knowledge in biology, immunology, how are you going to develop models on organoids? How are you going to do the tissue engineering? Another areas that pharmacy students should actually think of getting is analysis. There are a lot of jobs will be for analysis. Okay. So analysis will be requiring a strong understanding on MS techniques, different spectroscopy method, NMR, LCMS, MS. So all this requires also a sort of good understanding in chemistry. So many different ways you can think of that you can actually get your career. So it's a very good time to be a pharmacy student. I'll tell you, if you have only one problem, sometimes is the fear. Can I do this? Or I think Indian students are brilliant. They have their talent, and only thing sometimes pulling them is the fear and opportunity. If you think that you want to do it, you can do it. I was a student of chemistry, did PhD in biotics, worked mostly in cell biology, in the top cell biology lab, and then came back, started the lab in, mostly cell biology, biophysics, pharmacology, and so on. So it is, I think you can do this if you want to change. A lot of people, people will be successful on doing this. So we should do all the best. Whatever this 2 days conference that you have, please stay in the conference. I think you will get enough time to see Ahmedabad. What I am saying is, after 1 or 2 hours, you will not find people staying in the conference. They will go everywhere other than the conference room. So if you have come for the conference, please stay. Okay. Try to learn. Get to see the posters. Help your friends. If you visit your friend's poster, ask him or her 10 questions, it will actually help him or her. Do that. Okay? And that way we will all help each other to develop ourselves. And it is not development of individual, it is the development of everyone will make it a great nation. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir, for enlightening young minds regarding new briefing. You should have a deep understanding regarding the fundamentals and why they should choose India for their education, because we have all the facilities as discussed by sir. And if you want to discover, you can discover the model for efficacy and safety that is more accurate as compared to animal model, and to understand organoids and to work on AI, you require a basic knowledge and you require to be clear with your fundamentals. Thank you so much, sir, once again. Now I request Dr. Manish Shah, sir, to felicitate our chief guest with the memento as a token of our appreciation and respect. Thank you, sir. Every presidential address is a moment of direction where experience meets vision and leadership inspires a path forward. To enrich this morning, we have our Vice Chancellor, Professor Dinesh Awasthi, sir, an economist by training. He has previously served as a professor of strategic management and entrepreneurship at IIM Lucknow and a director of Entrepreneurship Development Institute of India, Ahmedabad. Over 70 research papers in various national and international journals, 8 books, 31 reports on SMEs and technology entrepreneurship to his credit. He has also chaired several government committees and worked as a consultant to UN agencies such as ILO, UNIDO, and UNDP. Professor Awasthi brings rich academic policies and expertise to his leadership. I now request our Vice Chancellor, Professor Awasthi, sir, for the presidential address.
Dr. Manish Shah, President of the University. Dr. Gulal Panda, Director, Raika Duhali, and our chief guest. Dr. Ravi Kant Sharma, Deputy Controller, Gujarat. Sanjit Chaturvedi,
Chairman IDMA and largest manufacturer of ORS in the world, not in India. So it is the largest manufacturer of ORS in the world. My colleagues Chirag Shah, Dr. Dilip Maheshwari, and I can see Dr. Tulsi Wal, who is member of our academic council, and Dr. Sachin Singh from LPU, who is among the top 2% scientists. So welcome to you, sir, to this conference. And of course, my colleagues, students, and participants, delegates of this conference. I start my lecture with two apologies and one disclaimer. First, I would like to apologize for this goof up in power supply where you had to be in the dark, but Kamsoma Jyotirgamaya, we started, I was daily, and for that I am extremely impressed and grateful to Mr. Chaturvedi, who could manage the show despite this darkness. And he could earn so many applause. So thank you very much. But my apology. So this is the first apology. So my second apology is that I am violating the dress code. All of them have blouse, suits, and a jacket, but I come as a teacher without. So my second apology. Now my disclaimer. I am a pharmacy illiterate. So whatever I speak may not necessarily be relevant to this conference. So this is my disclaimer. With these words, I would like to compliment and congratulate my School of Pharmacy, particularly Dr. Sheila Shah, who have organized this very important conference on the future of pharmaceutical drug development, trends, challenges and opportunities. I think we are passing through a kind of cusp where a lot of technologies are coming up. The speed of innovations has accelerated and the diseases are also multiplying. Of course, we have been successful in eliminating tuberculosis and malaria to a great extent. We have faced COVID and successfully faced it. So hats off to all those pharmacists, pharmacologists who invented those kind of medicines. But now the time has come where IT and particularly AI is going to play a very important role, as Professor Panda was rightly emphasizing that unless you make yourself acquainted with AI and particularly STEM kind of subjects or mathematics, statistics kind of things, I think you will not be a complete pharmacist. This also leads me to think of a situation where pharmacy subject could be an interdisciplinary subject now. Because you are no confined to medicines, but now pharmacology and pharmacy is going beyond when you talk of devices, some wearables, we are talking of devices, electronic devices. In fact, I remember when Dr. Mashelkar was here with us, he carried this with him and he gave an example which was developed by somebody who was awarded by him. In a small instrument which one could take to villages, put on the heart, and it could conduct ECG very easily, and doctors get that ECG in their hospitals. So this was an innovation which was done by some engineering college students, and when Dr. Mashelkar showed it, we were so impressed. Now, really there is a time when we should talk of this kind of interdisciplinary approaches. We are fortunate here Then we have pharmacy, we have engineering, we have life sciences. So if all these departments come together, I am sure we can do wonders. Because this is a time where it is, of course, pharmacy is not about molecules and trials and that those things. I think the responsibility of pharmacists goes much beyond, where we have to talk about reducing the pain. We're talking about giving life to somebody. We are talking about creating a healthy society. And if all these things come together, I think we will be a different kind of society in different phases. And I would like to see that this conference focuses on this kind of issues. What kind of things are likely to come in future? What are the issues? What are the problems? I mean, I can't talk technically and technologically, but as a human being, what my expectations are from this kind of conferences or this kind of, I know when somebody dies of some disease, please remember, somebody in the world, some scholar is working on that issue these days. And now the science is so fast that all those discoveries, all those innovations and inventions, they could be transferred, translated so quickly that please keep your eyes and ears open, use computers and see what is happening around the globe. And that will give you a lead what is future. Because future is not simply teaching and doing some research. I mean, this country is so large, pharmacy is so advanced, some like as Dr. Ravi Khan was telling, a market of $150 billion, 200 countries export. But when we talk of today, despite all our development, we keep on banking on China for API. And if China shuts down API, what happens to the industry? Are we capable? And this is not something rocket science which they are manufacturing. We can do it. Only is a question of the scale and the bulk which we are trying to match, the prices we are trying to match. Now, can we, as earlier speakers told, can we develop medicines which are affordable, where people can, I mean, India is one of those countries where medicines are really affordable. If you talk about the world, the government is also controlling the prices, you can't charge more than something, and I keep on reading the newspapers, some medicines are identified life-saving drugs and they are put to control of price. So this country is doing it. I think there is a need to go beyond. There is a need to discover those medicines which will address maybe some diseases of future. And I am sure this conference will deliberate on these issues. I am quite concerned that the health issues. I am concerned about the people who lose their life, young people losing their life because there is no medicine. I mean, I remember at one point of time there was no major disease no major medicine for heart problems. And one of our very popular actress, Madhubala, died because she could not be treated. There was no heart operations that time. Now science is advanced. You can have heart, even heart transplants are being tried out. Some hearts of some animals, they are being transferred to human beings. They are not successful so far, but who knows what will happen tomorrow. So I think this conference should talk about what is the future and what are the issues, what are the current problems we are doing. And if we work on this, and if one project comes out of this conference, I think we have achieved one project and one product out of deliberations of 2 days or 3 days. Maybe we need collaborations with other organizations, with NIPER, with whatever you have, you collaborate conduct research jointly and come up with one product. You have a scientist with 2% of the world. Why can't we really develop one molecule which could be a breakthrough molecule kind of thing? In this country, why we can't match up? I mean, we keep on supplying first drugs or generic medicines, but why not specialties? Which is my concern. Why can't we go for targeted medication? Is our concern. So as human beings have these concerns, and if this August party, this conference can address some of these issues, I think we will be doing great service to humanity. These conferences are important platform for exchange of ideas, exchange of knowledge, but these conferences should also lead to something concrete. And I wish that something concrete will come. I look forward to that kind of outcome of this conference. Thank you very much for your passion and looking at immediate conversation.
Thank you so much, sir, for being a guiding light, encouraging and your appreciating word. We also hope that these 2 days be fruitful and something concrete comes out of it. Now, as we approach close to this inaugural ceremony, gratitude must be voiced, for the gratitude is the fairest blossom of the soul. May I invite Dr. Dilip Maheshwari, sir, co-convener of LJPiCON 2025, to offer vote of thanks. Please, sir.
Namaskar, good morning. Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina, Sarve Santu Nirmaya. Means, may all be happy, may all be free from the illness. Respected dignitaries, distinguished guests, esteemed academicians, colleagues, members of press and media, and dear students. On behalf of Lok Jagriti Kendra University and the LJ Institute of Pharmacy, it is my honor and privilege to deliver the vote of thanks at this August inauguration of LJPiCON 2025, the International Conference on the Future of Pharmaceutical and Drug Development, Trends, Challenges and Opportunities. At the outset, I extend our deepest gratitude to our chief guest, Professor Dulal Panda sir, for gracing this occasion with his esteemed presence and for delivering an inspiring inaugural address that has set the perfect tone of our deliberations. Our heartfelt thanks also go to our guest of honor, Mr. Sanjit Chaturvedi and Dr. Ravikant Sharma sir. Your insightful words have enriched this inauguration and will surely encourage our participation and young scholars. I would like to place on record our appreciation to our Vice Chancellor, Professor Dinesh Awasthi sir, for his continued encouragement, and our President, Dr. Manisha sir, for his visionary academic endeavors. A very special acknowledgement goes to our Chairman, Dr. Y.K. Agrawal sir, and Convener, Dr. Shilaj Shah sir, with the dedicated organizing committee, faculty, colleagues, non-teaching staff members and student volunteers whose tireless efforts have ensured the success of this event. We are also grateful to Guj Coast, our industry partner, INTAS and supporting organization, IDBA, for their generous patronage and collaborations. A word of special thanks to media personnel present here for your role in amplifying our message and ensuring that the deliberation and outcomes of this conference reach the wider audience. Finally, I extend warm thanks to all our eminent speakers, academicians, researchers, industry representatives and participants from across India. Your presence and active involvement will be true driving force behind the success of LJPiCON 2025. With these words, I once again express our collective gratitude to everyone who has contributed to the success of this inauguration. May the session ahead of the enriching, inspiring and fruitful. Dhanyavad. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thus, with the heart enriched and the minds awakened, we bring the inauguration of LJPiCon 2025 to a noble conclusion. May these 2 days ahead be filled with learning, inspiration, productive dialogue, and new connection. I request all the esteemed dignitaries and delegates to stand in unity as we observe the playing of our national anthem.